Tell me if any of these sound familiar. You're constantly starting and stopping and second guessing every decision you make along the way. Or you procrastinate like crazy. Not because you're lazy or unmotivated, but you just can't seem to get yourself working on the thing you talk about wanting to do. Or you feel totally unmotivated. No matter how much you hype yourself up, you just can't get yourself to start. Or maybe the worst one, you can't stop comparing yourself to everybody else. You get stuck in these comparison spirals and you can't seem to stop looking at everybody else and feeling like they are making progress in their life and you are not. If you are nodding your head along to anything that I just said, there's a chance that there's a problem, right? But the problem isn't you. The problem may very well be that you just have the wrong goals. Yeah, maybe you're just chasing the wrong things to achieve. Today, I want to talk you through 5 signs that is exactly what's happening. The first sign that you might be chasing the wrong goal, that you're probably chasing the wrong goal, is you are chasing praise, not purpose. This happens a ton when we are pursuing something in life that we think we will be valued for within our community. And honestly, it happens a lot when we're younger. In my earlier life, I chased a lot of things that my family thought was great, right? I felt like the most important things that I could do early in my life were get married and have children. And now the idea that my own children might make that choice so early in their lives is terrifying because you can't really know yourself when you're first starting out. But I didn't know what I didn't know. And for the record, I don't regret any choice that I made because it made me the woman that I am today. But I can see now how parts of that felt so hard and felt like such a slog because it wasn't really what I wanted to do. It was what I knew I would be approved for doing. It's kind of a funny thing to look back on your life with hindsight and realize some choices you made were about keeping the affection or love of other people. We've all done a lot of therapy to learn to deal with this. And I don't say that so that you look back on past choices and think like, oh, yeah, exactly. Like I shouldn't have done those things. I say that because it's important to see where you might be repeating those same patterns in your current life. So like you remember that story that we all heard when we were little, the emperor's new clothes? He really wants to dress in the greatest fashion. He really wants to be the best of the best. And a con artist comes to town who says that he is a fabulous designer and he's going to design something amazing for the king and everyone's going to love it. And then the designer presents clothes that are invisible. And the king is too embarrassed to say that he doesn't see these fabulous clothes, so he just goes along with it. And everyone in his life is too scared of him to say that they don't also love the outfit he's wearing. And he is so desperate for a certain persona that other people will have of him that he is ignoring reality. And it's not until he's like walking through town and a little kid is like, yo, you are naked, that he realizes that he's been tricked. When it comes to your goals, it's really important to ask yourself if you are ignoring reality, meaning you are ignoring the things that you really do not want to do, and you really don't care that much about getting an MBA just because your parents care about you getting an MBA. Where in your life are you making choices that are about praise versus about what you actually want to do? The second sign that you might be chasing the wrong goal is that you are chasing the aesthetic and not the reality. You are chasing what something looks like instead of what something actually is. And girls and boys, we are all so susceptible to this, especially now that we have access to social media and people who are living these fabulous lives, who are wearing these amazing clothes, who are going on these amazing trips, who are doing these things that we're like, oh my gosh, I should also have that, right? Let me tell you what happened yesterday. I was meeting with a stylist. I was explaining to her this thing that keeps happening in my life and in my closet. I have a closet filled with things that I absolutely love. And I'm using that term very loosely. We have essentially 3 boxes from IKEA. And I feel like I've done a very good job of curating things I absolutely love. But then I find myself putting on these things and I just don't feel very good in them. There's a handful of things in my closet that I wear over and over and over. If you're in the broadcast channel on Instagram and I show my outfits, you'll be like, man, she wears, actually these boots are a great example. Get them in the shot, Rach. There we go. But like I wear these boots almost every day, and I wear the same pants over and over, and I wear the same shirt. It's like the 80-20 principle, but applied to your closet. So I have all these clothes in my closet that I love, but I don't feel very good when I put them on. Like I wear them and I'm like, I don't feel like super stylish. I don't feel like the best version of myself, but then I don't get rid of them because I really love them. And I was trying to explain this to her. I'm like, what am I doing wrong? Because I feel like I have a closet that has 3 things I absolutely adore and feel great in, and then just a whole bunch of stuff I really love, but doesn't make me feel very pretty. And she was like, oh, here's the thing. Things can be your taste, but not your style. Things can be your taste, but not your style. You guys, I have not stopped thinking about this since yesterday. I was tripping out from a style perspective, but then I realized that this is probably true for life as well. One of my favorite examples is like acrylic nails. You probably have heard me talk about this, or maybe you were there during the 2019 season where I tried my hand at the long acrylic nails. I love them. I think they're so beautiful. That is my taste, but it's not my style. I love to see them. So then I put them on my own body, and they don't work for my lifestyle. I can't type to write books. I can't do gardening. I have a hard time baking. Stuff gets stuck under. It's just not for me, but I love them. And so there's this tension always between like, well, but I really love it. And I really love it. So shouldn't I have it? No is the answer. This is going to revolutionize my life. We're only 24 hours into this knowledge. So let's fast forward 6 months. I feel like my style is about to change. The way I decorate my house is about to change. The way I'm just everything. Can you think of things in your life that you see other women have, or other men, whatever, and you're like, oh, I love that so much, but then you try it on for you and it just doesn't work? There's a great line, Amy Poehler's book, where she says, great for her, not for me. That she gave herself this sentence when she saw another woman like parenting in a certain way, or like having a business in a certain way, or doing life in a certain way. And she would say, oh, well, great for her, but not for me. We need to adopt that when it comes to our goals. It is so easy to be inspired by what other people are doing and just hold, oh, that is my taste, but that's not my style. This is what I've been contemplating. Like it has to be a mix, whether we're talking about our clothes, our life, our relationships, anything. It has to be a mix of things that are your taste, but also then when you take them into your being, when you take them into your workload, when you take them into your vision board, that your whole body is like, yeah. Everything becomes calmer, you feel more settled, you feel more centered, you feel more energized, like, yes, this is exactly what I want to be doing. I'm wondering how many things you are chasing in your life right now that are your taste but not your style. We do this with workouts, right? We're like, oh, well, my sister loves Orange Theory, or my sister loves Pilates, or my sister loves this, that, and the other thing. And so I'm going to go pursue this personal development in a way that is completely impersonal to me. And that's why there's a disconnect. And that's why it's hard to motivate yourself. And that's why it's hard to make traction. When something is both your taste and your style, magic happens. So look around your life, look around your goals, and see if there are things that you could just release because they are your taste, but they are not your style. Okay, the next sign that this just might not be the goal for you, you love the goal, but not the process. You are obsessed with the end result. You are obsessed with crossing that finish line, but you hate the process of getting there. Dude, there is no guarantee that you are ever actually going to cross the finish line. And if you don't know if you're going to cross the finish line, then you better love the process. There's a million songs and poems and stories that wrap around this idea that life is a journey, not a destination. But if you don't love the day-to-day, if you're not excited to get up and do this work and run those miles or write those words or record 1,000 podcasts of your own that nobody's ever going to listen to, or try again to pitch the business, or work on your health, work on your mindset. Like if you're not excited about that day in, day out, you're setting yourself up for such failure in life because you are chasing a someday. And here's the reality. Sometimes you actually can get to the someday. And guess what? The result feels really empty. Because those big achievements in life, those like hooks that we hang our hat on, we're like, oh, if I could just have this, if I could just have that, if I could just get to this revenue level, if I could just get to having a boyfriend. Like we set these mile markers for ourselves and then get to the mile marker and we're still not satisfied. Because it doesn't matter what you achieve in this life, if you're not satisfied with yourself day in, day out, no achievement, no success is ever going to make you feel whole. I promise you, I am not the only person who says this. You can listen to 1,000 different wise teachers who will tell you the same thing. There are so many people who have billions of dollars and are still wildly unhappy. Some of the most unhappy people I know are some of the most successful people that I know. If you are chasing a someday, if you are chasing a finish line, but you hate the slog to get to the finish line, there is no prize that is going to be great enough to make every sucky day from now until then worth it. Aristotle said that happiness is found in the activity, not in the outcome. Think of an amazing goal. Like you're never going to have a friend who believes in you chasing a goal more than I do. Be ambitious, think big, dream big, but make sure it's a goal that the pursuing of it also pumps you up, makes you feel excited, makes you feel energized. For clarity, it doesn't mean that it isn't still hard to pursue that goal. John Maxwell used to always tell me, sister, any goal worth having is uphill. Meaning, even if you enjoy the process, it's still going to be hard to make the climb. But good grief, make it easier on yourself because at least you like the thing that you are chasing down. Okay, the next sign that this might not actually be the goal for you is that you are doing it for someone else. You are going to college for mom and daddy. You are being a stay-at-home parent for your partner. You are running yourself ragged, pouring from an empty cup to try and take care of your kids. Like you're doing all of these things and it's only ever about someone else. Reality is that if you have responsibility in your life and if you have family that is counting on you, if you have people that love you, if you have community, there's a solid chance that in your life, you're going to do things that would not be your number one pick if you didn't have other people counting on you. I honestly fantasize regularly about what kind of life I would be living if I didn't have to make choices that supported my 4 children. I don't regret anything that I have decided to do, but like if you had the freedom, if you had the ability to just like, I don't know, go start surfing in Hawaii or go live in the south of France or do whatever the heck you want to do because you don't have responsibility, which by the way, if you don't have responsibility and you are not taking shots like that, you're not following your dream of joining the circus, what are you doing? You don't have to do that thing forever, but if it's something you're interested in and you don't have people counting on you, what are you doing? This is your chance. Go for it. All right, back to like real life conversation. There are a whole bunch of goals that people have based on other people's expectations for them, right? And this kind of bleeds into that idea that you do it because you know you're going to get applause. But there are also plenty of you who are chasing goals that even when you chase the goal, it's still not enough to make them happy. Woo! This was so a part of my early life of trying to fit into a mold that I felt like didn't really apply to me, trying to fit into a family structure or certain beliefs around how a mother was supposed to act, how a wife was supposed to act. I made so many choices trying to appease family members. And what was such a trip for me, I will never forget this epiphany of trying to live into who I thought they wanted me to be. And it was like nothing I could do was right. And I remember really specifically, God, what is that movie? Oh my gosh, Legally Blonde. That moment, this is my Legally Blonde moment. So you know where Elle looks at her ex-boyfriend, the one that she like did all this for, she chased him to Harvard, she pursued this thing, and she says, I'm never going to be good enough for you. She like has that realization. I remember that so specifically with my own family. Like, oh, I'm never going to be good enough. It's heartbreaking and it's also so liberating because those people who are putting judgment on your life, the family, the friends, the in-laws, like those people, their judgment is not about you. It was never about you. It is about their desire to control everybody in their environment and want to make sure that everybody in their environment does things the way they want them to be done. It's usually some latent narcissistic tendencies, but you can go listen to Dr. Ramani talk about that. We don't have to get into it today. My point is, you can pursue, you can check every box, you can do it exactly the way other people want you to do it, and it will still never be enough. The only way that you're going to be truly happy in this life, and the only way that you're going to be truly happy when you achieve these goals, is that you are achieving goals that are aligned with who you are and what you want. Now, a really interesting thing happens as we get older, that we start looking back and we realize that there were goals we pursued and things that we achieved that actually were for other people or were for a different version of us, and it doesn't align with who we are today. That is a beautiful part about chasing goals. They change as we change. That's a good thing. There's nothing wrong with that. That brings me to my very last sign that your goal is not for you. And that's when the goal is for an old version of yourself. Sometimes it's really hard to let go of this path that we have started walking because we feel like we've committed too much time. We've put too much energy in it. Oh, well, I've already read 2/3 of this book and I think this book is crap and I don't really like it and it's boring, but like I already committed. Yeah, but I went to med school and I spent all those years in residency, but I hate it. Girl, life is too short to pursue things that you do not want to do. So it's worth just taking a quick pause and asking yourself, if all the things you're doing in your daily life and all of the things that you're pursuing, what are you trying to get to by the end of this year? What do you hope to build in the next 5? Is that in line with who you are now, or is that in line with who you once were? Because we are constantly changing and growing, and the goals have to change and grow too. If it's taking you a while to motivate yourself to do this thing or to do the next step, if you keep putting it off, if it feels too hard, if you're procrastinating again and again and again, sometimes procrastination is about fear. Sometimes it's about a latent perfectionism that we feel like if it can't be absolutely perfect, we don't want to do it at all. But if you are procrastinating, and that's actually not in your nature, if you're typically pretty good at achieving things, but you keep procrastinating on this one area of your life, you're not lazy, you're misaligned. So there's a lot of studies to back this up, that procrastination is not about time management. It's about emotional avoidance. You're trying to buy yourself some more time before you have to do this thing. This can even be true if you've started a project, started to make great headway, and then you keep taking longer and longer gaps in between when you work on it again, because it just feels like too much. There's something about this that's wrong. The same with those clothes in my closet. I'm like, I love this. I love the idea of this, but there's something about this that isn't right for me, or it isn't right for me right now. You can set a goal to the side and pick it up again later when you have more bandwidth or strength or resources. This is an infinite game that we are playing. It's not like you're going to make 3 moves and then next year, fantastic, we're done, we're riding off into the sunset. We have a lot of time left. We have a lot of decades to make great choices, to build new things, to build new relationships. You have so much possibility in front of you. Don't put pressure on yourself that you need to achieve something because she's achieving it, or you need to do that because your mom would love it if you did. Slow down a bit, ask some better questions, and see if the goals that you're in right now are actually right for who you are right now. One of the easiest ways to do this is to test your energy. Truly, does this process, does this goal make you feel energized or make you feel depleted? And I don't mean that it's easy 100% of the time, because almost everything I pursue in my life is a challenge. But I still feel excited about it. I feel like I was pumped this morning when I got up and went to the gym. I wasn't necessarily excited to work out, but I was excited to keep pursuing this journey of health that I have. And I was excited to come and record this podcast for you guys because I was pumped about that line that I heard, and I hoped it might be helpful for you. Are you still energized by the work that you're doing, or is every single part of it a freaking slog? If every part of it is a slog, something's broken. The process is broken, the goal is broken, maybe your energy is broken, maybe you need to do some time to replete, maybe you're burned out, maybe you need some creative energy, maybe you need to get rid of a toxic relationship, but you are not supposed to be exhausted every single day, all day long. Like, you have to have some stuff in your life that's making you feel good. And if you don't, we need to take our temperature. We need to see, like, is it the goals? Is it the way I'm going about the goals? Is it me trying to please someone else? Is it me comparing myself? Something is disconnected. And when you do that inner work, when you ask yourself some good questions, when you sit down with your answers, grab a journal, ask yourself a question like, what part of my life is working really well? And then set a timer like 8 minutes, and then just make yourself write without stopping. Don't think through it. Just like write as fast as you can for 8 minutes. What part of my life is working really well? Now let's do what part of my life feels really hard? Same thing, 8 minutes, right? Without stopping. See what comes out. See what bubbles up. Maybe there's some stuff there that you don't want to look at, and you really should. My last book was entirely around this subject. It was all questions that we could ask ourselves to get better answers, not to get someone else's answers, not to get your mother-in-law's answers, not to hear what your wife thinks you should do or your husband thinks you should do, but what is that inner knowing? What is that wise being inside of you? Like, what do they think you should do next? Just get quiet, get curious, and see what comes out. You will save so much time and so much energy, and you will be way more productive when you are chasing the right goals for who you actually are. Okay, guys, I hope you found this video helpful and that you will like and subscribe so you never miss one of our episodes. Comment below if you're willing to share it with the community, and let us know if there's one of these that you really identified with. Like, oh dang, I might be pursuing the wrong goal because XYZ. And as a community, I would just encourage you guys to go lift each other up, go comment on each other's comments, go like each other's comments. The most amazing things that always happened with us at Rise Conference were not what I was teaching on stage. It was always the community talking to each other and sharing advice and wisdom. So I would love for this space to be a community like that as well. But we will be back soon with more conversation. Until then, as always, I love you and I'm rooting for you.